Good Thursday morning, people. Oh, I literally just woke up like, I don't know, 30 minutes ago. I got my breakfast. Y'all, I made overnight oats with almond milk. I'm not a healthy person at all, but this just is really, really good. So we're gonna watch Mackenzie Shirilla's mom. I think her name's Nicole or something. I don't fucking know. Um, she actually speaks. She's broken her silence. And it was actually Chris Como. I think that's how you say his name. He talked to her. I watched this last night. I had to watch this last night. There's certain parts where you could tell the mom okay, there's parts where she's definitely lying. She says one thing, 5 minutes later, she says another. I will pick those parts out and let you guys know. But there's certain things that the mom is saying, and then there's stuff that comes up on the screen, like text messages or whatever, and it completely contradicts what the mom is saying, and it is hilarious. It's so funny. Huxley, what are you doing? Dog's on the bed sniffing around everything. You're gonna lay on dad's pillow? Don't tell dad. So let's get into it. Like, I'm like sitting here watching this last night, and I'm just like, you're fucking lying. It's so bad. I want to skip through his like intro though. Let me see. He talks about it here. Actually, you know what? We'll this. What about it? And I think more of it.
We still don't know why Mackenzie Shirilla decided to try.
No, we know why.
Fill in the blank. To kill herself, to kill her boyfriend, to kill her boyfriend and herself, to kill her boyfriend.
She meant to unalive him. 100%. And you're going to hear me say it over and over again. She saw that Dom was on the path to success, and she wanted that money because she's a hoe. She is a gold digger. And I don't care if her parents hear this. She's 100% a gold digger.
And one of her closest friends. What was this about? What do we know? Wild child, reckless, bully in school, crazy in love, fatal attraction, all of these different disparaging identifications about the nature of the dynamic. But do we know why this happened? Prosecution says, yeah, we do. She wanted to kill them. But doesn't that mean she wanted to kill herself? Is there anything about this that reasonably would make you believe that?
I honestly think she wanted to hurt Dom. Something happened because there is, I think it was in the Netflix. I can't remember, but I think her one friend, Rosie April, or whatever fuck her name is, that stupid girl too. Mackenzie, they were at that party or whatever that night. Mackenzie fell asleep on the couch, whatever. Then she woke up and Dom was nowhere around. He could have been with another girl. So I think what happened was that night on the way back to the house, she started throwing her little bitch. Looks like you got a booger right there too, girl. Oh wait, I was on the wrong screen. Looks like you got a booger right there too. I think she started throwing a bitch fit, and her and Dom got into it, and something was said to her, and it just like flipped a switch. And I think she meant to like physically hurt Dom. Oh, look at those bracelets. Oh, girl, you got the fancy ones. Okay. But anyways, I think she meant to physically hurt Dom and not unalive him. But it is what it is. She's just crazy.
She only wanted to kill them?
Damn it. Hold on. We'll mute this. I'm telling you what, these overnight oats with original almond milk and a strawberry banana or a strawberry yogurt in like the cup for overnight, and then you mix it all together and just hits every morning.
So she'd have to be suicidal. I believe that this is the fatal flaw of this case. And it falls ultimately on Mackenzie Shirilla. Personally, because she says she doesn't remember anything, but also by proxy because it's her counsel that didn't argue diminished capacity from the THC, which everybody knew was in her system in very significant levels. And there was some doubt about the sample and how it was preserved by the hospital, which only would have helped fuel reasonable doubt because you could have made assumptions off of it that would have been hard to counter. And there was never any explanation of this POTS that was found to be satisfying by the judge.
Mackenzie Shirilla has never had POTS. Never. I'm speaking from experience. Never. She's never had it.
Whereas when you talk to the parents, you get a very different story. If only to understand why bench trial, why no diminished capacity, why'd you leave the THC alone, why didn't she testify, why hasn't she been hypnotized to try to recall it? There's a lot going on in addition to what would be valuable to the ongoing dialogue about this case, which is what? Who is she? What's she about? So when I interviewed Steve Shirilla, there was a voice off camera chiding him, giving him direction, filling in facts for him. It was his wife.
So, Dad, you can't do anything on your own. You got to have your wife tell you what to do. Like, this case just pisses me off. And I'm so sick and tired of this girl. Sick and tired of it.
Natalie. Now, I did not exclude Natalie from the conversation. A lot of you have accused me of mansplaining, and I only wanted to talk to the guy. That's not the case. So, Natalie Shirilla joins us right now to give us new and certainly in everything I've reviewed, fresh perspective on what happened before that night, what happened during the trial, and what has happened since. And it is important perspective, if only to have a better understanding of what the possibilities are here about why this happened. And of course, a little bit of an understanding of what's going to happen next. Here's Natalie Shirilla, mother of Mackenzie Shirilla. Natalie Shirilla, thank you very much for taking the opportunity to join us.
Thank you for having me.
Let me just clear something up here, because you know how in this space, everybody's got a conspiracy theory. Just to be clear,
the one thing I don't like that Chris does is he tiptoes around the mom. And he's known for very cutthroat. And I think what plays on the screen when she's talking about certain things is a big F you, your daughter's a murderer. She's legally, she's been declared one. So, whatever.
I was interviewing your husband. You were in the background paying attention. Just to be clear, you've always been invited. I didn't box you out or just want your husband to speak for you or anything like that. Can you just assure people in the audience of that?
No, I knew that. I wasn't camera ready, so I wasn't sure if I
camera ready. What do you need?
I didn't know.
Camera? You don't even have makeup on right now. Your hair's brushed. Whoop-de-fucking do. Like, girl, shut the fuck up. You knew you were gonna get dragged. You're gonna get dragged in this live. I can tell you that.
If that was like his thing, or I knew that I could always come on, but I was not camera ready at all.
People picked up on the fact that, look, you have an excellent grasp of what's going on. Obviously, emotionally, you're incredibly conflicted because this is your daughter. But I had a number of people say to me, oh, so she can't speak? Only the husband? Only man to man? And that couldn't be less the case. So I am very happy to have you here and be giving you the opportunity, this platform. And what I think is really interesting here is that you believe that people have a fundamental misunderstanding, not just of how this case went, but who your daughter is. Do I have that right?
Nobody has a misunderstanding. Text messages, the recordings that Dom has, people who she's bullied, people who she's been in jail with, all exactly know the type of person she is. And this mom is nothing but a liar.
Mm-hmm. Yes. So
let's start with the first one. How do they have who your daughter is wrong?
The best way I can describe it is like, would you want to be judged on 1, your worst moments, 2, challenges that you were dealing with in your life, situations that you were trying to learn how to navigate at a super, super young age and not really sure how to do it, or if you're even doing it right, maybe stumbling through things. No, life is full of all kinds of challenges and everything. And You surround yourself with good people that can help you get through those things, and then hopefully you grow through those moments and figure out how to do better and be better next time.
Oh, let's also not forget, I totally forgot to mention this in the beginning of the live. Mackenzie Shirilla's appeal got denied. It got denied. I think I shared a screenshot. I'm gonna share Dom's sister's channel in the chat. But Mackenzie's appeal got denied. Yes, that's what we wanted. We want her to stay in jail.
But she was so, I'm gonna cry again. She was so little that it's hard because she is like a young teenager who's going through, teenage challenge stuff, and that's how she's being judged against, and that's not who she is. And we judged on who you are based on the challenges that you're going through. So it's kind of unfair.
When you say challenges that you're going through, help us understand what that means.
So like situations at school, right, with other kids who are not kind, not kind to her, or not kind to her friends or people she loves. She would always kind of insert herself into those situations to defend her friends, and rightfully so. I mean, we all want friends to do that for us, but then sometimes she would get in trouble for inserting herself into their situations and stuff. So we would,
because your daughter runs her mouth. We already know she runs her mouth from that recording that Dom has. She doesn't need to be inserting herself in other people's business. Let them handle it. It's called growing up.
Kind of talk through those, and it's not that she's not right. It's just you got to follow the chain of command, the proper protocol to get things done and stuff. So she was just so little. She's just kind of learning how to be effective in those situations.
Whoa.
That girl, Mackenzie thinks she's untouchable. Always thought she's untouchable. Girl, no, you're not. Why is this taking?
You know what I hate? Leaving a conversation thinking,
Jesus.
that was important.
All of a sudden, everybody's doing this shit now, and it's
the perception of her, which you say is a misperception, is basically informed by this take. You're half right. She was involved in a lot of stuff at school and a lot of drama, but she was the bully. She was the aggressor, and the school told you that.
Yep.
And that's why people are right to feel how they
100%.
feel. What do you make of that?
How can they possibly know that, first of all? And then sometimes there are some teachers at the school who like her strength and they like her spirit, and they try to cultivate.
Okay, this is what I'm talking about with these little things. I don't know. Let me see here. She wanted to be at the top. Everything Mackenzie Shirilla classmates have said about her. While some describe Mackenzie Shirilla as a best friend, others allege she often bullied her peers and frequently got into trouble at school. Okay, so this is what I'm talking about when I said earlier, when the mom's trying to explain things, this kind of stuff goes over, and I'm pretty sure that's a big F you, because they get better as it goes on. So
that and help her, guide her through doing it and communicating effectively to get that way. There are some teachers that super didn't. There's a lot of teachers that don't appreciate the strength in a child or a younger teenager.
Okay. I feel like I'm the only one here out of no, Chris does it too. But this mom is so freaking delusional about who her daughter is and what type of person her daughter is. I was 17. I was 16. And if I shut my mouth off to somebody, because I used to do that a lot, I've calmed down a lot. Thank you. No, anyways, you shoot your mouth off to somebody when you're a teenager, you got a lifelong enemy. And I'm gonna go ahead and assume that Mackenzie probably gave certain teachers, or a certain number of teachers, attitude because she didn't like them. And that's why some teachers are like, "Oh, she's such a blessing," and the other teachers are like, "She's a horrible kid." That's just how teachers are.
And they just want them to kind of fall in line. But there are some teachers that appreciated it. So it just really depends on who you're talking to. If you're talking to a friend that she was sticking up for, then she may be a bully to the other person. It just depends on who you're talking to.
That's how that works.
I understand. Right now, I'm talking to her mom, and what I want to make sure is that you know where I'm coming from on this. I'm a pretty open and transparent person in terms of how I practice my journalism. There are a lot of things out there that you say are wrong, and I want to give you the opportunity to address them. So I'm not here to judge you or your answers. As we all know, there are plenty of people who are ready and willing to do that. But I want to make sure that our understanding of this situation benefits from the full complement of perspectives.
Sure.
And what I learned in covering this case and looking at it was, until I spoke to your husband.
Yeah.
Stop watching
Oh
this
my
ad.
god, why are
Go
there
to
so
Wix.
many minutes? Sorry guys, hold on.
As informed by your perspective in the background, I had no idea how at odds with the attorney and their strategy you had been. So that's where I'm coming from, that I just want to understand all pieces of this to understand how we got here. So the next piece of perspective on it is, well, we got here because Mackenzie Shirilla wasn't just a kid experimenting with drugs. This was a heavy duty, hard hitter, wild child.
Yeah,
And she, whether that was how
she was never experimenting with drugs. Or oops, drugs. Sorry, you two. She never experimented with. If you look at her TikToks and stuff, or Instagram, or wherever she's got these videos posted, she's constantly got something in her mouth and blowing stuff out all the time. She was literally baked. I don't know if I want to use the word baked because I'm trying to choose my words wisely with this situation because I don't want it to get shut down. I'll just do it. She was high all the time.
she conducted her relationship and how she felt about Dom and how she felt about life and death. This was an extreme personality type who was open to reckless behavior, and that's how we got here. Fair assessment.
Oh my goodness. No. Let me tell you who Mackenzie is. She loves her family. She loves her friends fiercely. She's an adventurer. She's the friend that you have who will.
She loves what her family and friends can do for her and what Dom could have done for her. That's what she loves.
Wake up in the morning and wants to seize the day. Like, let's go kayaking. Let's go roller skating. It's pretty outside. Let's go hiking. Let's do whatever. She likes to go take pictures. That's, wherever abandoned buildings like they do, the kids go to all these abandoned buildings, take pictures. She's not.
What kids go to abandoned buildings to take pictures? I mean, I'm a millennial. We never did that shit. We went and explored. We never just took our camera, because we didn't have a cell phone back then. But we never just took a camera and went and took pictures. That's the weirdest thing I've ever heard.
Reckless, and I know in some of the photos it does appear that way. But I mean, I've done things as a child that my parents probably wouldn't approved of. I hung around with some friends I probably shouldn't have.
Always got something hanging out
I was reckless. No, it just means I was a teenager trying to figure life out. So she's not reckless or like a wild child. Yes, she was fun. She was vibrant, adventurous. She was fun.
What do people have? Look, I know this is hard for you, and I know you keep catching yourself talking about her in the past tense, and that triggers this paroxysm of pain for you because your daughter's not dead, but the life she had is no more. And I get how hard that is for.
I'm sorry. I have a lot to say about this. I keep pausing it. She is so lying about how Mackenzie is because Mackenzie inside the jail, she's such a girly girl. She's making money. She's getting whatever the fuck she wants in jail. Hold on. What are you doing? No, get away from that. My dog is trying to get underneath my desk. What are you doing? No, there's nothing there. Come on, get out. Go lay down. She gets whatever she wants in jail. And that's should not how it should not be like that. I don't think they should be able to get whatever the hell they want in jail. She literally took his life and the other boy's life. Like, oh my God. Sorry.
And I sympathize with you on that, and I understand it.
Well, a part of me is not crying just because of that, okay? A part of me is just crying because her friends, people that actually know who we are, know the truth. They know who she is. And the image that has been painted of her through storytelling, all this other things, it's it's not wholly accurate. It's unfortunate.
So
Or
part
whatever.
of that is the relationship with Dom.
Mhm.
How did you see that? How did you see what are seen as radical ups and downs?
Oh, this is gonna like super make me cry. But one of my favorite things to do with Mackenzie and Dom was talk to them about their relationship. We spent
Who Let me know in the chat if you've ever had a parent or somebody you're dating's parent talk to you about your relationship, like, literally on a daily basis. Oh, wait. That's never happened before. Who does that? That is the weirdest freaking thing ever.
a lot of time together doing everything. We went on vacation together.
I get
We
the vacation
like
thing.
where there was one, the other was there too. So, they were together for 4 years. And they were together the 4 years in a real pivotal time of their age where they were trying to figure life out and who they were. And actually, I'm going to show you a text message that I sent to Dom. We were very, very, very close.
That's
And
sorry.
one of my favorite things to do was help them navigate through their relationship. And they knew that they could both come to me for anything if they were struggling with stuff. I
She reads this, but hold on. It sounds like the mom was literally trying to control her relationship with Dawn. That's just I don't know.
try to call you. You don't have to call me back. I was just thinking about you guys. One of my favorite things to do is watch you guys grow and navigate through your problems together. They're not always fun and it's not always easy, but the point is that you guys grow a little more each time and learn a little bit more about yourselves and each other. I love you guys. Anyway, that was all. And then he said, "Nice to think you're always thinking about us and here for us and here for me. I love you too. And thank you." And then I said, "Always."
Understanding relationships, and obviously they're not a
If my mom talked to my boyfriend that way, no, that's just weird. I'm sorry. I did not grow up in a house like that. My mom stayed the fuck up out of my relationships, and so did my stepdad. So I don't. That's just freaking weird to me.
adults, they're kids. I mean, he's an
Yeah.
adult technically, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Did
I mean,
you believe at the time that the vagaries of their relationship, the drama, was within the realm of normal, or did you see it as a toxic relationship?
toxic.
No. I didn't see it as a toxic relationship
That's no.
because we did spend so much time together every single day. He was either sleeping here, she was sleeping there. He would come over and make dinner. They made homemade pasta and stay.
Who lets their 17-year-old daughter stay the night at a boy's house, let alone a boy that's a couple years older than her? Yeah, bad parenting on their part.
So there was none of that. Like I knew that she was going to be, that he was going to take care of her, like keep her safe and like he was very protective of her.
No, you're thinking money-wise.
And then I also knew that she was protecting him. So in person, I don't think,
She's the
I know
aggressor.
it sounds toxic in the text messages, but there's no context for those.
See, this is okay, this is another thing. Dominic, I'm breaking up with you. Mackenzie, you know how much I love and care about you, and I get this. I'm assuming that J stands for Jess, trying to make you fucking happy and feel better. Dominic, I'm too bipolar. You gotta just not talk to me. Mackenzie, but no, you make me feel like I'm nothing for no reason. Hold on. Pubsy, what are you doing? Get out. Sorry. Why do you think I hate myself so much? Yeah, that's really manipulative. Dominic, you make me feel like I have to do everything with you or I'm doing something wrong. There it goes. There's when the mom said they're always either staying here or she's staying over at his house or he's always going on vacation with us. Sounds like Mackenzie was forcing him into doing all this stuff. Like she was putting a wedge between him and his family. You think I'm always mad. Mackenzie, I fucking hate myself. I'm ugly, and you just add on to it and make me feel even uglier. Girl, you manipulative little bitch. Like, how can you just leave me and walk away like that? Because you're crazy, that's why. It's fucked up, Dominic. Now you just sound dumb. Mackenzie, you make me feel like I'm worthless. I do so much shit for you. What? Drive him nuts?
That's not who they were. And one of the things I always tell people is who Dom looks like on paper.
Naomi's enjoying the sweet
that.
sound.
Hold on, we're gonna read that here in a second. Let me see if it's okay, Mackenzie. Let me see. All you are is mentally abusive, physically abusive, and a terrible boyfriend. You don't do anything good for me. And you literally treat me like shit and call me the worst names you can think of. The fact that my boyfriend of 4 years just tried to end my life by steering me off the highway, that's how I know you're not in love and you never were. Somebody who loves me would never do this to me. I think that's going back to um when she was driving, Dom was in the passenger side. I think they were on a highway or something. And she said she was gonna crash the car or something, and Dom tried to grab the steering wheel and, like, not let that happen. So it sounds like she's trying to turn if that was the situation, I don't know, but if that was the situation, it sounds like she's trying to turn it back on him and saying he was the one doing it because he had texted his mom, and then Mackenzie had texted his mom, pretty much blaming him. The only reason it went this far is because you tried to end my life. Dominic, Kenzie, I didn't. Mackenzie, you could just apologize when you did something wrong, but I forget you're too immature. Bitch. I didn't read these last night. I didn't read these. Dominic, why would I try to unalive myself too? I'm already nervous driving in the rain as it is, and the fact that you would even try to steer me off the road and make my car spin out. Yes, this definitely was that incident. Probably because you're mentally ill. Uh yeah, mentally ill and you used to hit your head on the wall and choke yourself with a belt. What the fuck? Oh, I forgot the sound, sorry.
So what they look like on
Okay. I'll go back and play this again so we can hear what the mom is saying, but keep these text messages in mind, okay? Mackenzie, I absolutely cannot believe you just tried to end my life. Dominic, okay, then don't be with me. He's been trying hard to get away from her. You need fucking help. Dominic, it's blurred. Was right about you, I guess. Mackenzie, you blackmailed the person you love. You tried to unalive the person you love.
paper. It's not who they were. It's just not who they
Okay,
were.
hold
They
on,
were
let's go back. You can hear the mom talking. Okay?
so in person, I don't think I know it sounds toxic in the text messages, but there's no context for those. That's not who they were. And one of the things I always tell people is who Dom looks like on paper. Is not who he was to me. So what they look like on paper, it's not who they were. It's just not who they were. They were very close.
How'd she say it? What he's like on paper is not who he was to me. Don't that sound a little bit like the mother was living in their relationship with Dom? That's just weird.
They loved each other fiercely.
What's up, Chad?
They were very cute together. They took care of each other. They wore matching outfits. They timed their day around each other. They made sure that they had each other's food. He cared about her health, and he was trying to work on her. She has POTS, so he was trying
No,
to
she doesn't.
figure out her POTS and her diet and stuff. So they were very cute together. There's no context in those text messages. That was just them trying to figure out how to work through these situations that they had building up, but that's not who they were. I know it's what it looks like, but that's not who they were.
When I talk to you guys, you both bring up this relatively, for most people, obscure medical condition called POTS, which is basically a blood pressure differential, and how that can affect.
Who was? I think it was Brian Enton. He actually had a girl that has POTS reach out to him, and he posted the interview. Mackenzie does not have POTS. They thought I had POTS. And because like a lot of my symptoms were a lot, like the heart palpitations, racing heart, brain fog, shortness of breath, not fainting though, like dizziness or like I had a lot of this stuff and it turned out to be something completely different. But she doesn't have POTS. She does not have POTS, and it's a made up story.
People, you got
Also, to the mom and the dad of Mackenzie Shirilla, if you would like to produce documentation that she actually had POTS before the accident, we would love to see that.
guys talk about it like this was something that was known and ongoing in her life. That is not the way that it was argued in court. And it was not the way that the judge treated it. The judge treated it like what it seemed like from the rest of the record of the trial, which was a legal rationale for an unexplained intent crime. But that's how it came across. That's not the way you guys talk about it. You talk about it like everybody knows that she had it. We didn't just diagnose this now. Is that the case?
I don't know why. I don't know why. I don't know why the trial went the way it did. But yes, I mean, I told all of her friends that she has POTS because they need to know what to do if she has an episode. Like they have to know. She has had a couple episodes and they were very aware of it. And if you don't know what to do when somebody's having an episode from POTS, they can have a seizure. It's called a non-epileptic seizure, or they can suffer from what's called like syncope or something like that. And the reason why I tell everybody that is because like when you have POTS, okay, you faint. You faint from sitting to standing, okay? And you can have an episode from anywhere between when you stand up, within 15 to 20 minutes, you can have an episode, okay? So
every mascot frame.
Did a lot of Googling about this, didn't she? Lots of Googling. That's my dog. He's on my bed behind me.
Your natural instinct is to catch them so they don't fall, right? Well, if you do that, and I found this out the hard way, if you catch them, the blood isn't getting to their head. It's a blood pressure thing, okay? So if you catch them, you're preventing, your body stays upright and you're not letting the blood get to the head.
I've never heard this catching.
So then that's when they start to have that seizure, that non-epileptic syncope seizure, okay? That was really scary for me. So when she was doing that, she was like a stick, and I didn't know what was happening because this was like a newly thing that was being developed for her. So then I laid her down because I was scared. She had a friend over. It was me and her friend were here in the house. So when that happened, I laid her down flat on her side because the only thing I know about people having seizures is that they can choke on their tongue, and I didn't want that to happen. So I laid her on her side, and by doing that, the blood was able to get back in her head, and then she finally came out of it. So I had to tell her friends, please don't catch her if she's having an episode because she needs to lay down. Like she either needs to lay down, or if she's in the process of having an episode, make sure to put her head between her knees.
Look at Chris. He's like,
the blood has to get to her head somehow.
He keeps looking down.
So I had to make sure to tell everybody. I told the teachers at school. I told all of her friends.
When did you
new
tell
friends,
them?
old friends, everybody, because they have to know what to do to help her.
When Mackenzie has experienced episodes of POTS, when they pass, has she claimed a lack of memory of the event?
Okay, so she just said Mackenzie's had a couple, okay, and they were scary. Listen to what she says next. This is a complete lie. Remember, she said she's had a couple. Couple means 2 or more.
So I didn't ask her. Remember, it was just the one.
See?
And I didn't ask her.
Remember, it was just the one. The mom is straight up lying.
If she had any recollection of anything, because I didn't need to, that wasn't like a thing. So, and it also.
So your daughter didn't come to you and be like, what happened? Mom, what happened, Mom? Why am I on the floor? She didn't ask any of that. She didn't say what happened. I'm sorry. Usually if you get knocked out, you're going to come up to me and be like, at least you're going to think is, what the hell just happened? Because there's usually people around you saying, oh my God, you fainted kind of thing. Or, you fell and hit your head and you were out for like 5 minutes. What the hell? Sorry, my dog.
So it was pretty short-lived. Also not followed by a traumatic head injury either. So I don't know if she had any recollection of that.
The next point of perspective is what people have seen on social media after the event.
Okay. Mackenzie Shirilla said in jail call, I want Kim Kardashian to be my lawyer exclusively. Tell her I buy all her Skims and I only wear Skims. The convicted murderer, 21, says during the call, referencing Kim Kardashian's shapewear brand. She's freaking trying to, because she knew these calls were gonna get out. I'm sure mommy or daddy had told her that these calls were gonna get out. So now she's trying to basically let Kim Kardashian know that she's giving her free advertisement through these calls. And Kim, she's hoping that will have Kim be her lawyer. I don't want Kim Kardashian as my lawyer. I'm good. I'm really good. Thank you.
And even after your daughter's incarceration. And it is an extension of this wild
Mackenzie Shirilla trashes her hometown from prison, calls residents as sad and depressing. Bitch, you are from that town, probably born and raised. Don't you fall under that little category you just gave your hometown? Good luck trying to when you actually finally get out going back to this town.
child, very
Told y'all I was
self-indulgent,
spicy today.
maybe, taking girls.
Okay. Mackenzie Shirilla appears to mock Dominic Russo's singing skills during prison call.
Girlfriends or lovers in prison. It's all about feeding a picture of
Okay, I'll replay this over so we can hear what he's saying. I want to read these out in case somebody is got me on the TV and they're in another room. Mackenzie Shirilla's prison ex-girlfriend says she received a threatening texts after ending relationship.
her as just all about her appetites. And again, extreme. How can you help people? Your daughter's
We're gonna start over. You
incarceration.
can listen.
And it is an extension of this wild child, very self-indulgent, maybe taking girlfriends or lovers in prison. It's all about feeding a picture of her as just all about her appetites. And again, extreme. How can you help people understand differently?
I can't, because anybody can say anything they want. Like, how can you stop people from
Ladies and
Oh my
gentlemen,
god,
twice yearly prep.
I'm sorry, guys. Oh.
saying things?
Well,
You know?
with different perspective and analysis. Like, yeah, she smoked weed, but not every day, and she still went to school. She said did this,
I
and
thought
she
you
doesn't
meant
have
her
she doesn't
experience
have
in there.
girlfriends in prison. She's not fighting people in prison. She didn't stab someone in prison. I
Yeah.
mean, that's how.
Yeah. Well, that is how. So I can't speak on any of her activity in prison. She's not doing any of those crazy things people are saying.
Okay.
So what she's doing is she lays in her bed a lot. She colors, she draws, she paints things for people and their children. She's like super, super talented. She listens to music. She writes music. She journals a lot. She likes to watch movies and play board games.
Mhm.
She doesn't like drama. So she tries to avoid that. And if there is, then she's always the first one to extend the olive branch to whoever it is to move on from there, because she likes to bring people together. So
How do you explain what is reported as an unusual amount of misconduct tickets for violating prison rules?
thank you for that. So contraband
Oh, never mind. All right, it's already passed.
isn't like drugs. It just means that you have something that's not on your vault list. So let's say you have, I don't know, five things with you when they go and do like their searches or something. Then that's 5 tickets, 5 separate tickets, because you have somebody, she, like, for instance, she had to go to work in the morning and she didn't want to miss going to work. So she used her friend's alarm clock, wasn't on her vault list. So that would be considered contraband. So that's one. Then if you have somebody's pillow or like an extra blanket.
If this is legit, because I've never been to prison, I've never been to jail. I'm a good little girl. If this is true, like with having somebody else's, like she said, blanket or whatever, blanket or pillow, like Mackenzie knows if she has an extra blanket or pillow that was not assigned to her, she's gonna get in trouble. Why fucking do it? Why? Like, this girl continuously, even in jail, because mommy and daddy are supplying her with whatever makeup, whatever she needs. They're how do I wanna put this? They're supplying her with what she needs and what she wants. She's been breaking every rule because mommy and daddy keep giving her what she wants. She thinks the rules do not apply to her. She thinks she's above everybody else in that jail, and she's not. She needs to actually go to a big girl jail, and she'll get knocked down a few freaking pegs. 'Cause I can tell you right now, she's what, St. Mary's? I think that's like 2 hours from where I'm at. That's nothing. That's like Camp Cupcake. That's nothing. So she needs to actually go to a real big girl jail, and then she'll find out.
Ticket, that's two tickets. So that's three right there, just in the same situation. So, and then the other one, so that's contraband. It doesn't mean drugs. It just means you have something that doesn't belong to you. It could be food, it could be literally anything. But and then if you have multiple things, each individual item is one thing. So that could add up. And then the other one would be like the misuse of medication. She thought, she was worried about her health, so she just wanted to take it was a
Worry
prenatal
about
vitamin
health,
because she
then go to see the doctor. Infirmary, I think that's what it's called. Go there.
just wanted to make sure that she must not have felt good and wanted to make sure she was getting enough of the nutrients. So she took somebody's prenatal vitamin. But
That's kind of weird though, like to take a prenatal vitamin while you're in jail. I get it. It's probably given to the pregnant women, which it needs to be. And I know prenatal vitamins have a lot of like extra vitamins and stuff in them. Girl, if you need a vitamin, go get your own so you can take it every day. Don't be taking somebody else's shit and depriving their baby of shit.
Were some of the tickets as reported for sexually explicit video calls with an ex-inmate?
well, that I can't speak on. All I can say to that is she's in her early 20s. I don't know anything more about that. Or the only thing I can say is now that you know what the rules are, you got to follow the rules. That's the other thing I always
No, she doesn't do. Oh, I hold on.
tell my kids, like, no matter where you go in life, everybody has a different set of rules you have to follow. I have rules at our house.
That's funny that she's bringing this up, considering her daughter is constantly breaking all the rules. This mom has an excuse for everything. Everything.
You have rules at your house. They have different rules. Like wherever you go, those are the rules you have to follow. And sometimes, unfortunately, we don't know what the rules are until we do. And then when you do, then follow them.
Something you can speak to directly is when people hear you have explanations for innocent kinds of tickets, but you say you know nothing about the kind of ticket that would inform people about the nature of her personality, it becomes suspicious of your credibility. Do you understand that?
Imagine being able to build an app with your name on it.
There's two. Let's actually see if there's two. Nope.
Yes. Now I can't talk on the sex ticket thing. I mean, I'm sure we've all had spicy conversations with our friends and people, so I can't really speak to that. What I can speak on is that none of her tickets are aggressive or violent. She's got extra stuff that doesn't belong to her, like food, pillows, blankets, alarm clocks. You can get a sex ticket, by the way, just for hugging somebody else, which is unfortunate because those girls are going through all terrible times. And if you want to hug I don't know, but
is it fair?
Is
it fair in your opinion? That is true, especially in female prison.
Yeah.
By the way, they have very strict rules of fraternization.
I'm sure.
Which is a weird word to use because it comes from fraternity, which has to do with males, even though it's about females, but we have a very sexist culture.
Right.
People point to, oh yeah, she loved Dom so much that she got a girlfriend as soon as she went to jail. Is that fair?
No, because what they're missing, she didn't go right to prison right after the car accident. So the car accident was July 31st.
Horrible.
Okay.
Oh, that reminds me.
Was in the juvenile.
Okay, so where did I hear this at? Oh, it's actually it's in this show. So you're a spoiler alert. I gotta tell you this because the picture's up. Okay, so we're assuming the other boy was probably sitting back here behind Dom. He was in the back, I'm assuming, because he has passed away and this side of the car has taken the brunt of the force or of the accident. Okay, so this is Mackenzie's car. Okay, I let my husband drive my car. Like I'm a passenger princess. Like, yeah. But I'm assuming Dom was in the passenger seat 100% because I think they show it in this. Let me see here. If they show right around here. No, they don't. Okay. Mackenzie, we all know Mackenzie was driving 100%. It's the side of the car that the cops went to and the EMTs went to, and we can hear her talking. She was on this side. Mackenzie says her mom says this quote, because they thought she oh sorry, unquote. They thought she hold on, let me think here for a minute. There's so much information here. Mackenzie said to her mom that no wait, they thought she was under or she I'm sorry, they thought she got pinned under like the dashboard, like, like on the floor where our feet go and stuff. And Mackenzie says, "Oh my god, Dom I was laying on top of Dom or Dom was laying on top of me. I can't remember which way." Okay? So remember let's just say the second boy was here. We all know Dom was here and Mackenzie was here. She was nobody was laying on top of anybody. Nobody.
Facility for almost a year after that. Okay. Then county for a couple weeks and then went to Marysville. So there was a long time between. I mean, and people, we do gotta move on at some point, right? So the whole time when she was home, obviously she was going through nothing, laying in bed, crying all day long, going through his photos, wearing his clothes, listening to his music.
That's not what her TikTok suggests. Another lie from the mom.
Writing.
If you guys want, like, go and read the comments underneath this. These comments tear this mom apart, and I was so there for them.
About him, thinking about him, talking about him, going to the grave, going to the memorial, like every day. Same thing happened in the juvenile facility. She kept a journal and wrote to him every day and talked to his family members on the phone every day. And then even when she went to Marysville for a little while, she had his photos. Dom and Davion's photos were all over her bed area and wrote in the journal like every day. So it's not, they're missing a time frame there. Time has passed. A lot of time has passed.
You say your daughter is struggling.
Mm-hmm.
Why?
I'm going to go ahead and say mine first because I know this is what it is. She's struggling because she misses her freedom to leave and go wherever the hell she pleases, and she can't do that.
Because it's almost like she's trapped in a nightmare that she has no memory of and can't even, she's never seen the evidence. She's never seen the discovery. She's never seen anything. So she's almost trapped in a nightmare that she has. All she knows is that the boyfriend that she loved with her whole heart is gone and Davion is gone and she was the driver in a car accident and has no memory of it. So it's literally, I'm going to cry again. You should see her artwork.
Look at her
it's
crying.
so sad. And one of these days I'll share it, but I'm not going to share it now for obvious reasons, but it's really sad. She does self-portraits of herself where she has like a thorn, like a rose of thorns around her neck, or like her mouth is sewn shut and she's got all these question marks around her head, like why? And like, where's Dom? Like what happened? And Davion, it's like so sad. She's literally trapped in this nightmare. And so she struggles mentally with that part. And I feel bad.
Something mentally wrong
for everybody.
Feeling bad for everybody is a real emotional turmoil for your family. The media likes to use you as a point of conflict between the families, that you don't like the other kids' families. You think that they have been unfair toward.
Okay, for the people who are not near their phone or TV, Mackenzie Shirilla's mom rips Dominic Russo's evil family in new audio.
Your daughter, how do you reconcile your feelings that she doesn't deserve to be where she is with feeling the way you say you do about the loss of those boys and the pain for their families?
Oh my gosh. I wish nothing more than all of us to get together and just hug each other and go through this
You
together
lied.
and
You
heal
lied to
together.
them. They don't want nothing to do
But the
with
way
you.
that the story has been written and spread like crazy wildfire, I don't know if there's ever going to be an opportunity for them to even want to, which is so unfortunate because it's just unfortunate. I know that this appeal process, for instance, is so hard. It's got to be so hard for them to watch because every time it's in the news, it's like, God, it's been constantly in the news for 4 years. And I know that when it is, it's got to be hard for them to see because it's like picking at a scab. I always say it's like picking at a scab that's never going to heal. Like it's never, ever had a chance to heal because it's so in the limelight. So I do feel bad for them because it's a constant reminder that their kids are gone. But I can't, I wish it was private. I wish we could fight this privately so that they don't have to see it because my heart breaks for them. It breaks for
I
them.
love how she keeps emphasizing.
But I
certain
also
words.
hope, I can also hope, privately, I hope that as this information comes out, that there might be a chance that they can see it wasn't intentional, and maybe it'll make them feel a little bit better knowing their boys were loved so much, and it wasn't this crazy intentional act that that they made it seem by this ridiculous story that's not true.
Amy acted close.
There's so much I want to say, but I'm holding a lot back. Hard to believe, I know. But I can't stand this girl or her parents. They're just liar, manipulator, like, oh, there's another one.
The idea for the prosecution's case to be beyond reasonable doubt, the judge had to believe that Mackenzie Shirilla was suicidal because obviously, reasonably, what she did would have killed everybody. What does that mean to you that the law found that your daughter had to be suicidal in order to do this?
I don't understand that part
Yeah,
because if that's what
definitely
she
down
felt,
below
then
that
why
X
wouldn't they
not down
ask for a
below,
psych eval or medical analysis or something, like find out or
Well, they don't have to.
or
You
something.
could have, but the prosecution doesn't have to do that. They're looking for facts of what was done
Yeah.
and whether or not the way it was done informs them as to the intent that the crime required. Yes, they're supposed to look for inculpatory and exculpatory, but not on that level necessarily. That was what you would have done. What your team would have done is argued all the THC in her system, that maybe
Yeah.
it was that. She doesn't remember. It's a very bad fact for your daughter in this situation, because even when you say something like there were 3 people in that car, anything could have happened. Yeah, but only one of them survived,
I
and
know.
she's the only one that would know.
Well,
And I'm sympathetic to your and your husband's point that, hey, if anybody wanted to just make up a story and get out of this, she would have done that already. So
she is.
she must actually not.
She's making it up as she goes, the pots as they go. Um, there's another thing that comes up. I'm not gonna spoil it for you. There's another thing that comes up that I believe they are trying to get so that they can try to appeal again and they can use this in court to get her out. And it's like the dumbest thing ever to try to, well, that's not dumb because some people may like it. I've never had it done to me, but you'll see.
Know what happened.
Yeah.
That's a fair point. That's a fair point of pushback.
Yeah.
But when they look at it, anything could have happened. What do you think could have happened in that car?
Wait, can we go back just for, I want to address your one question about her
Of course.
not being suicidal. Okay.
Well, yes, because I'm not saying whether she is or isn't. I'm saying that
No,
in
there's
order for her to
actual,
do this the way the prosecution says, she must have been ready to kill herself.
no. So there's text messages where she was that night, the night before the car accident, she's confirming going to work the next day. She was going to be taking care of somebody's pets while they went on vacation. So that night before the car accident, she was making sure, hey, do you still need me tomorrow? And she was like, yeah. She's like, okay, I just want to.
Excuse after excuse. There's a lot of people who do unalive themselves that have plans already after this incident, if you want to call or accident, happens. Um, there's something else I wanted to point out too. It's just The excuse. The mom always has an excuse for everything.
Make sure. So she's confirming going to work the next day. So that's one thing. And then there's other messages where she was planning her birthday party, making birthday reservations. So people that are suicidal, they don't have future plans like
Yes,
that.
they
So
do.
that was all in there. I don't know why. I don't know why.
Well,
any of that
a
was
question is, has she tried to hurt?
They do have them for the simple fact that it's I don't wanna say persona. It's to keep up to make everybody think that they are okay, if that makes any sense. Because a lot of people who do unalive themselves, a lot of people say, "Oh, I just saw them the morning of, they were fine, they were laughing, they were happy, we were joking around," and then they unalive themselves. It's hiding it. Excuse me, they hide it.
Herself since this event?
Never, 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 never. She loves life and herself and loves her family way too much. Never, ever.
I know this is going to be an annoying way for me to describe this, but I've always felt that this was one of the biggest reasons I would have wanted a jury trial. Look, I get that counsel could have been worried that there was too much propaganda out there and that everybody was going to hate her and she wasn't going to testify and it was going to be too tough. And they were better off with a jury, with a judge who could be more dispassionate and focus on the law and that they didn't make a case for intent. I get it. However, this one question, she had to have wanted to kill herself because reasonably what she did should have killed everybody in the car.
Right.
So she must have been suicidal. Okay. But all of the text messages that you show, everything that she had said, and very odd that someone who is suicidal and then two of her closest people are gone and she doesn't try to hurt herself after that, even with her life being ruined by what she did, is very suspicious.
It is.
And it would have been, I think, something that weighed on a jury. At least some of them would have been like, well, that's weird. It doesn't seem like she was suicidal. Well, then maybe something else happened. And that's called reasonable doubt.
That's right.
But that did not happen in this trial because of your team's choices.
I don't know why.
Kayla just discovered that on
I love when he
Vinted, she
gets in
can
there and
easily earn extra cash.
He's just like gets the sympathy and kinda, gets on their side and then bam! This is such a long one. Oh my god, another one. Oh, that's Reba. Love her. It's almost done.
My husband and I, we weren't in there. I was a witness and he was a potential witness. So we were not allowed in there to hear what he was saying or not saying or doing or not doing or presenting. So she only had one day for her defense and then it was over. And then the things I found out after the trial, I don't know what happened. Something's wrong. Something's wrong somewhere. I don't know. I don't understand a lot.
What is the plan going forward?
I'm finding that this appellate process is being stuck in quicksand. During this process, I've talked to many different appellate attorneys, and they've all said, we've lost our way. Our country's lost our way. Our appellate process has gone from really caring about doing what's right and more about procedural errors. So I have no choice but to be guided by hope that that somebody somewhere will be able to look at this critically and see in black and white that there was no proof of intent and things that were not presented in the trial that could have proven that.
And
I'm just guided by hope. I'm just going to keep going, and I feel bad for the families because I am going to keep going. But I hope that they would also do this for their kids too. Their kids would want them to do this for them too. If something was wrong, if there was a true wrong, like if they were convicted incorrectly, they should be doing this for their kids too.
Somebody explained to me how Mackenzie Shirilla was convicted incorrectly. Literally, it's all there. This mom is so delusional. She's not wanting to believe science or the facts. Like, there was no breaking. Like, I wish I could be this delusional and live in my own little happy, bubbly world. That would be awesome.
Are you able to put yourself in their situation where you have reason to believe that the reason your daughter is gone is because of a crazy ex-boyfriend who just didn't give a shit about anything except what he felt in the moment? And that they do have good reason to believe that at this point, based on what's been in the trial and what's been reported around it. How do you think you'd feel if that were your mindset?
I cannot blame anybody for feeling the way they do about this situation with what they've heard and saw. I myself would have never questioned this ever had if we're not going through it ourselves. I would never question anything in a million years. But going through what I'm going through right now, this is it's terrifying. So I can't blame people for feeling the way they feel about it. It's just they just don't know. There's so much that they don't know that's wrong with this case, and we need help.
You talk about the other families. Have you thought about talking to them? What would you say to them? I'm sure they're going to see this.
Oh my gosh. I have thought so many times just about walking up to the Flanagan's house and knocking on their door, but I don't know if they want me to. But I want to. And then the Russos, we were very close. We spent a lot of time together after the car accident, like a lot of time.
Because you lied to them and told them that she was in a coma for like 3 days or whatever it was after, when she really wasn't. She was awake and talking to the cops when they got there. Your daughter was not in a coma. She may have been knocked out from the thing, which that's to be expected. When they were talking to her, she was awake.
And it's so hard for me to drive past their house and pretend like I don't know them or like this part of my life never existed. And I know in some of my calls, I say different things in regards to them, but we were hurt and struggling and scared.
Hey, Mackenzie Shirilla's mom. Russos are evil people. The fuck? Girl. You're evil. Look at you. God. Projection does not look good on you.
So I would love to go hug them and just tell them, I'm sorry for what has happened and just be there. I would literally do everything for them. They would probably be annoyed with me because I would probably be blowing up their phone. I'm going to the store. Do you need anything? Can I pick something up for you? Are you hungry? Can I make you dinner?
But, you did that to yourself. You lied to them.
And I would love that.
They didn't trust you anymore.
Why would you love that? Is it out of guilt that you feel responsible for what happened?
Yeah.
No. I'm a mom. I'm a person. Even all these people saying terrible, untrue things about me. If they needed help, I would drop everything and go help them. That's just who I am.
I'm gonna put the link for this live in the chat.
On the what happens next part, you said you're dealing with counsel. Your daughter has an appellate team. Do they have a strategy? Are they planning to make a federal habeas corpus appeal here? And if so, on what basis?
I don't want to say anything about.
Okay. But you do have a team and they are figuring out what to do.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Look, I mean, that's good because if it shows, if nothing else, a depth of belief in what you put out about the case. It's an uphill, they appealed, they lost, they went to the Supreme Court, they refused to take the case. It doesn't mean it's dead, but appeal is usually for reversible procedural errors because you don't usually do it on the basis of facts on the appeal unless new facts have come out. So,
okay, real quick. I think the reason why they chose to do a bench trial is because a judge is less likely to convict versus a jury is more likely to convict. And they thought if they went the judge way or judge route, I should say, that she was going to get off. Backfired.
It's a high bar, but you know this from talking to counsel. When people see this, well, go ahead. Do you have a comment on what I just said?
I do. I'm learning. I have no idea about the legal world, the criminal world. I don't want anything to do with any. This like terrifying and scary for me. Like we've never had any trouble with the law. I don't know these terms. That's why we were leaning on our lawyer so heavily. But there's something. There's just preponderance of
We really needed that power slide.
That would have broken the
There's
bank.
not
Let's
so
see if I.
many freaking things here.
saying that wrong. I don't know what that
Preponderance, which is a legal standard, less than reasonable doubt, more than probable cause. Preponderance of the evidence. It's usually a civil standard, but in what context are you using it?
I don't know. I heard that term from somewhere, and I thought that there just was
You
there's
heard
not
it.
enough. There's too much reasonable doubt, and there's not enough proof of intent. I
Okay,
don't.
so what is reasonable doubt? Legal Information Institute. A reasonable doubt is not a dang, it's one of the words I can't say, speculative or imaginary doubt, but a doubt based on reason and common sense arising from the evidence or lack thereof. Presented at trial, if a reasonable doubt remains after consideration of the evidence, the jury must acquit the defendant.
No, somebody said.
Well, look, I mean, again, a fact question is rarely reviewed by the appellate judge unless there's new information.
Right.
Especially when the trier of fact here, the judge, is also the jury, which is also making the ruling in the bench trial.
Yeah.
They're given a lot of sway.
Okay, what is a bench trial from the Legal Information Institute? Bench trial refers to the type of trial that does not involve a jury, but is conducted by the judge alone, in which the judge both decides the facts of the case and appeals or applies the law.
So, look, it's difficult, but there is a review standard that you're talking about right now, and that certainly seems to be the most likely avenue. Let me ask you, if that doesn't work, how do you prepare yourself for what this is in terms of being the mother to Mackenzie Shirilla, how long she'll be in there, what that'll be like, what it means for your life? How much thought do you give to that?
So Mackenzie and I would talk about it all the time. She knows that with even what's happened to her and the other families, and she's alive, which she struggled with. She had survivor's guilt pretty hard. Like, why am I healing so fast? Why can I walk? Why is this? Why can I do this? She was struggling with that a lot. But she knows she's blessed. She knows she's blessed and has a lot to be thankful for because she is alive, and she knows that she's.
Why am I healing so fast? Are you serious? Girl, you're 17 years old. Your body is going to boom, heal. Which versus me being 40, like, it's gonna take a minute, okay? Like, and having survivor's guilt, I don't know if she had survivor's guilt after my late husband passed away from colon cancer. He was only 32. I had survivor's guilt after that because we have a son together and I'm the one left taking care of my son. Like, I felt bad for my son, and then the survivor's guilt came in. But I wanna say she actually didn't have survivor's guilt, just for the simple fact of the way she was acting after the accident. Actions speak louder than words.
We're going to get through this. We will get through this. We've gotten through every bad day to this point, and we'll get through every bad day until it's over. Like I keep telling her, I said, Kenzie, there's a sentence. Everything's going to be okay in the end. And if it's not okay, it just means it's not the end, but it's going to be okay. And we're going to get through this. We'll be okay. We'll be okay.
How hard is it for you to believe that?
My family is very close. We're very close and very, very strong and very connected. And none of us will ever not leave anybody behind. And we're going to make sure that we're okay. So we'll be okay. We'll be okay. And we'll make sure that we're okay.
The effort or lack of effort that has been done so far, trying to refresh recollection, trying to see if with time and different types of treatment, there can be recall of the events of that night.
Mm-hmm.
Have you done anything to pursue that avenue of treatment?
I don't know if I can.
Okay, so this is what I was talking about with the second thing that I think they're cooking up to try to get another appeal in. I don't want to say too much because I want you guys to like hear her say it and come to your own conclusion. But for me, I believe they're gonna try to do this so then they can appeal again, and this can be put into evidence. It'll make sense. Just listen.
And so before she was arrested, she wanted to go get hypnotized
There you go.
try to remember what happened. So when you're in a car accident like that and you have a real traumatic head injury, especially if it was that fast, sometimes your brain doesn't process the memory into like a core memory type situation. Sometimes there's literally nothing there. So she wanted to go and get hypnotized before she was arrested, and now she still does. She still talks about it all the time. I don't even know if they can. And
who's they?
anybody that's imprisoned, I don't know if they
Oh,
can.
you mean you don't know if someone? Of course you can, because you can do it. A lot of hypnotists work remotely. It would be a Zoom call like this.
My only concern is, and I don't care because I know she didn't do it on purpose. I would want to be there for her because when she has a memory of that happening to Dom and Davion, that's gonna struggle. She's gonna struggle with that, and I won't be able to be there to hold her hand or like hold her. So I would need to know that she was in a safe place to scream, or like we were just talking. We just found out new information that I thought that she was found with her head under the dashboard, but I thought that she was found under the dashboard on the.
Okay, this is what I was talking about earlier when I was showing the picture of the car. This is what I was talking about. Listen.
Driver's side. So we just learned, because remember, I'm learning that I haven't seen a lot either. So I'm kind of learning new things as other people are too.
That is her slipper on the gas pedal. It's literally stuck in there. Okay. It's stuck in there.
Recently learned that she was found under the dashboard on the driver's side. When she heard that, she was like, "Oh my God, I was laying on Dom for 45 minutes," and just started crying.
What? She was laying on Dom for 45 minutes. Dom wasn't driving. Dom was in the passenger seat. So when she found out that she was, like stuck under the dashboard or under the driver's dashboard or, floor or whatever, she thought she was laying on Dom. No.
So she wants to be hypnotized, but I need somebody to be there that so she's safe to scream, feel when she finds out anything. So it's like scary for me.
She doesn't need to do it.
But she wants to be.
Well, I mean, I understand your concern for what she would realize, but you do realize that it's the only thing that can really change the fact basis of what is understood right now. And it is one of the most compelling points of prejudice against her, that there is a convenience to this amnesia, that the one thing that you need to know, you don't know. And I understand the counter. I understand it. And it's compelling, which is, why wouldn't she make up a story? Why wouldn't she say Dom did it or Davion did it or we all did it or this is what happened or I had an episode? She would say something because it would only help her. And she didn't.
That's right.
Fair point.
Yeah.
But it does seem to be the only other thing that could happen here that could change the outcome, no?
You, just you, building your app on Base 44.
I hope, even if it doesn't change the outcome, she still wants to do it to try to get some kind of closure in the situation. She will never, ever, ever lie and say that Dom or Davion did it. She would never do that to them. Mackenzie is painfully honest.
Painfully honest. She would never lie. Didn't we just read the text messages earlier about Mackenzie saying that Dom grabbed the steering wheel and tried to crash her when in fact it was her that was doing it, and Dom, if he did grab the steering wheel, was trying to get the car like maybe pulled over so they could stop or in the right lane.
If anybody knows Mackenzie, she's painfully honest. She would
What
never.
if it's not
ever,
a lie?
ever...
What if the kids were messed up and they were screwing around?
No, well, that's what I mean. I mean, she wouldn't make something up now, is what I'm saying. Because if she just would never lie and make something up and say that they did it because she doesn't remember. So even if, let me ask you this: is the hypnotizing thing even accepted in a court system.
It wouldn't be the hypnosis. It would be the testimony.
Oh,
If she were to say, hey, I remember what happened, and
Yeah.
there'd have to be an explanation that would be compelling enough to be considered by prosecutors / a judge,
Yeah.
if not them, because
Yeah.
obviously if they felt compelling, then they could bring it up. But, that's very rare because they don't want to undo a conviction. That a judge would have to find it compelling enough to warrant a new trial.
See, this is what I was talking about. They're grasping at straws, trying to get anything so they can get her a new appeal and get her a new trial. And when he said, because they don't want to they don't want to undo a conviction, she looked down. Like, damn. Yeah. So they're grasping at straws to try to get her out and get her off of unaliving 2 people.
Yeah. Well, even if it has no bearing in the legal system, she has always, all this time, wants to get hypnotized. That's been a common thing. Even after, like directly after the car accident, she was talking about being hypnotized. So even if it has no legal bearing, she's always wanted to do that just for closure, to find out what happened.
I'll check your state right now to make sure I'm right.
Okay.
But I know I am.
Ohio will accept
Not as a point of arrogance. It's just it's fairly,
I didn't think that was something arrogant.
First of all, Ohio certainly recognizes hypnotically refreshed testimony. But again, that's because it's only about the credibility, which is tested the same way any testimony would be. How it is that you refresh recollection is really besides the point.
I'm just curious because
she could. She can get it. But look, I'm not telling you what to do. I'm just saying that is a huge aspect of this. Why you didn't argue diminished capacity when there was THC in the system and you knew that the sample was screwed up. Some people blame your husband for that. I haven't found any basis for that. But
why?
But I'm saying I haven't found any basis for it. I just am monitoring these true crime podcasts. That's a common avenue of discussion.
Okay.
Look, we all know the phone has positives and negatives. 2, you picked a bench trial in a situation where if you wanted there to be reasonable doubt, you were really betting on a hung jury. And you took that off the table, which only makes sense if you really believed that the data, which certainly your husband does. But I got to tell you, he and I disagree on this. And obviously the judge sided with my perspective on it, which is 4 seconds is a long time. It's not to you and me in terms of this conversation, which I'm sure is seeming interminable to you. But in its speed, when you're going 50 miles an hour, let alone twice that, in 4 seconds, you go a long way, right? It's simple math. So the data is damning. The data only tells one story. It doesn't tell why, but it tells what was happening in that car and the lack of countermeasures, which fed a narrative. And the judge clearly believed it. So the only reason to go bench trial would be believing as counsel that the data, the science, the information is so specious, that the case of the prosecution is so weak on the data, so easy to disrupt it, that the judge would have to see it in a way that the jury may not, because emotionally they want to punish. That's why you would go with a bench trial. And that's why very often judges convict at a lower rate than juries, because they're not supposed to be motivated by simple vengeance. That's not really.
And that's why they went with the judge, because they thought the judge wasn't going to convict her.
Justice. So those decisions, and then the third, Mackenzie had nothing to say in her own defense. Not that she had to, but in a case like this where people want to know why did it happen, and you're the only one that could know, when you don't testify, that becomes an assumption that can easily work against you, and clearly did here.
Oh my God. Hold on.
Yeah. Well, a couple things. The THC thing, I found that interesting too. And in the discovery, the detective in one of the police that was the other thing. I didn't even hear these police interviews until 6 months after she was convicted. Crime Circus posted all these police body cam videos that we had never seen before. And there's a lot of information in there that puts a lot of answers to questions people have. And then you can hear how screwed up things that were said in the trial are, because where were these police interviews? I never saw these before. Did my lawyer see them? Like, I don't know. There's a lot of information in here. So in the police interviews, the detective says, we could have charged her with an OVI, but we wanted to go with a higher felony or something like that.
Yeah,
like,
he did. They want the highest value crime.
Well, how can you
why?
do that? If somebody's over the limit, they're over the limit.
If you believe that the diminished capacity, which is what we call that, THC, alcohol, doesn't matter what the substance is if it intoxicates, but that intent was more than that. For instance, if I say, I'll make it very simple. If I say, that's it, Natalie, I'm mad at you, I'm going to eat your sandwich. And it turns out that I was really drunk when I said it, but all of my actions show that I had every intent to eat that sandwich. Then it becomes something that within the law, you can argue, okay, yeah, they were drunk, but this happens anyway.
Well,
whether they're drunk
or
or
not.
not.
Eating my sandwich if you weren't drunk?
That's what you would argue, that if you weren't drunk, you wouldn't have wanted the sandwich. But you didn't argue that. Your lawyer did not argue that. You see what I'm saying? That's my point.
Why?
That's something for you to ask him. He does not. He has not returned any of my messages. I'm happy to talk to him about it. I'm happy to talk to her friends who want us to understand that night or that relationship or that person differently. I'm here for it, because again, the point of telling the untold story in these is to disrupt narrative, to help people understand the texture and the complexity of these stories, especially when there's such a big question mark. I don't believe we know why this happened. We know who did it. We know the general circumstances. We know there's criminal responsibility, but why is very important. And we do not know.
That doesn't make sense to me. Like with this trial, like why didn't Jim cross-examine me? He didn't ask me any questions. I thought that was weird.
They don't have to.
Because the prosecution only asked me about her first situation with Potts, and then that was it. And Jim never asked me any other questions. I felt like that was very strange. Don't you think that that's strange? Wouldn't he? Why didn't he ask me?
Well, you were a prosecution witness, so he would have been cross-examining his client's mother, which is unusual. Usually you would.
Wait, the mom was a prosecution witness? Oh, girl, you were set up. Let it sink in. Just let it sink in. The mom was a prosecution witness. Girl.
Be his witness. But be that as it may, he was certainly free to ask you questions. And again, he's got to tell you that was his decision. So,
why?
You have, under the Sixth Amendment, you have the confrontation clause. You have a right to confront your accusers, and you have a right to trial by jury. And here you exercise neither of those. And I don't say you.
I know you mean you in general.
I'm saying the team. So look, Natalie, unless there's something else that you wanted to ask me or that you wanted to make sure came up, I want to thank you for taking this opportunity.
I thank you too. I did write some things. Can we talk about Carney for a second? Carney talk.
Sure.
Is that okay? Do we have a second? So there's tons and tons of misinformation going on right now about this whole Carney talk thing, what she said in the hospital. Okay. So during a documentary, the prosecutor said, played a tape, and I can send you the video too if you want. And he said, she says something like, can we just tell him I had a seizure? That is not what she says. And there's a lot of people that speak it and can verify it. She says, can we tell him something about community service, and can you take my license away for 10 years? Okay. She does not say the word seizure at all the word seizure is very hard to say. It's full of a lot of Z's. It's seizure. Seizure is how you say the word seizure. I think people are confusing the word seizure with the word service because she says community service. So Caesar visas is service. Seizure is seizure.
Well, what language is that?
It's Carney talk. It's Carney talk. It's I've always known it. My family.
Carnies even say that that's not Carney talk. I hope somebody's keeping track of the amount of lies that come out of this mom's mouth because, like, I've lost count.
It's just a fun, silly little language that that we used to talk to, like, our friends. Like, if me and my friend were walking down the street and somebody was cute and we didn't want them to hear us say he was cute, we would say he's really easy cute. Like, he's really cute. So it's just a fun little silly little language. But when the detective came in and it's not sneaky, like there's nothing sneaky. That would be like saying people that are bilingual and speak Spanish or French or German are being sneaky when they're speaking in their different language. There's nothing sneaky about it.
No, it's a little weird, but I don't know that it's sneaky. I mean, I'll put that under the same category as your husband's ringtone.
Baby making dance like a man. I can shake him
Sorry.
like Danny. I can shake him like a. I'm a buff baby.
What
making
is
dance
that?
like a man.
Oh, God. That guy, that was hilarious, first of all. So that's from Adventure Time. And my kids, we used to watch that cartoon all the time and they love that. So that was one of his ringtones from them. That's a good cartoon. But anyway, it's just a fun, silly little language that wrestlers use. It's Cardi talk. I don't know. It's just something silly,
Wrestlers use?
That's a lot of
misinformation. And why is it relevant? Because you think that people misunderstood what your daughter was asking for?
What you looking at, babe?
I've never heard of
Cars.com.
Yeah, I've never heard a wrestler use that language. And I grew up in the era of WWE with, like, Hulk Hogan and all them actually wrestling. Okay. Oh, nope. Amy Action.
Well, that was reckless on the prosecutor's part because during the documentary, he says he or she's saying something in gibberish. Okay. And then she says something like, can we just tell him I had a seizure? Well, if it's gibberish, why are you saying that she said, can I just have a seizure if you don't understand what she's saying? So that he was almost like planting a seed. Like, why are you doing that? That was weird to me. So he left that. And then of course the public just took off and ran with it. It's not what you said.
Right. But even if it were an excuse structure legally, a seizure is a reasonable potential physical consequence of POTS. So
100%.
It wouldn't be taken as a connivance, which is, hey,
Well,
let's make up a story, which is what he was arguing. But again, this is all the game of how a case is tried and which facts are emphasized and de-emphasized and contextualized. And, you know, that's very hard to review. Those choices are hard to review, except to say ineffective counsel, which you did in the first appeal.
Yeah. Very sad it's just very sad because that's not what she said. And people are just taking the misinformation. They're just running with it. Even like the text messages from the freeway that day on the car when Dom tried to crash the car. Now those text messages.
She threw that in there.
That
that day on the freeway when Dom tried to crash the car. Why are you putting blame? He wasn't driving. We don't know what went on before she started driving recklessly and Dom trying to get control of the car. We don't know what happened. It was probably a fight.
People are trying to recreate the timeline for those and make it seem like she's the one that did it and she's recreating these text messages to cover her tracks. Like, no, like, nope. So it's like a nightmare game of telephone.
I think that, and I said this to your husband, focus on what you control.
Yeah.
How your daughter is perceived, you don't control. What people decide to make relevant, true or untrue, you do not control. What you control is the opportunities you take and what you do with your daughter's case and any choices you need your help with going forwards.
That's right.
And if there is anything that needs to come out going forward, you know how to get me. And
Oh, let me see here. See. What's reckless is saying a seizure is a result of POTS. It's not. I don't know if you were in here, but I said, like, a couple years ago, they thought I had POTS. I wasn't having seizures, I wasn't fainting, I had the lightheadedness, the dizziness, all that stuff, but it turns out I don't. But I ended up before I got the diagnosis that I have now, I joined Facebook groups. I sat back and I watched. I read. I don't think I've ever seen anybody say that they actually have had a seizure. I'd have to go back and look. But Brian Enton, I was actually just looking at my past lives, and Brian Enton did interview a woman who has POTS, and she even said 100% she does not have POTS. And even though the mom says that she told her friends about it. If she faints, don't catch her. The fuck? Girl, she gonna hit her head and crack her freaking head open. Catch her and then lay her ass down. It's like a whole thing. Like, yeah, Mackenzie does not have POTS. I know she doesn't. LOL, no. I missed that, but I do have, but I do have had POTS my whole life. See, guys, she has POTS, and she is saying it's not. It's this whole thing is it's just bullshit. Like, I am so spicy today. Let me tell you.
I will give you the opportunity.
I thank you so much for your time. Thank you very much. I appreciate you.
Thank you for taking the opportunity. I appreciate it, and we'll speak again.
Okay, bye.
You know, the longer time goes, if there is not new evidence, which in this case would only really mean her refreshed recollection, and again, that would be very tricky because how would you corroborate it? How would you substantiate it? The more time goes by, the less chance of any appeal and the deeper into sentence that she will go. And that could be anywhere from a decade from now to several. And her family is going to live it every day. The families of the two boys who lost their lives are living it every day. There's nothing more unnatural than a parent burying a child. And if you have a kid who's in prison, that's the closest thing to losing them that there is, because they're in a dangerous place. Their life is going sideways at best, and there's nothing.
She's not in a dangerous place. She's at St. Mary's. It's literally like 2 hours away from me. It's not dangerous. She needs to go to big girl jail. That's where she needs to go to. And then she'll get knocked down a few hundred pegs and be just the common.
Then you can do about it. And that is a horrible place to be, no matter how you feel about the Shirillas, Mackenzie Shirilla, her parents. They are in pain as well, as are Dom and Davion's parents, of course. And actually, the pain goes beyond that to the friends and their families. You know, so many are affected by death, and this kind of death, this unnecessary death, this unexplained death. And it's also a really interesting question for all of us in the true crime community. For a case where we really don't have the evidence that leads to intent, I'm not saying who's responsible. Of course, Mackenzie Shirilla is responsible. And I'll point out for you in this interview what legal decisions made by her team helped create the verdict that came down. But for all the speculation and all the noise, there is very little signal on the Shirilla case about what actually motivated what happened that night. Until now, I think you will understand better because of what Natalie Shirilla tells you. If only about the POTS. And again, I've seen the documentation. There's no question that the kid was diagnosed with this before the trial, because I, like many, when I first covered it, I thought they were just bringing up POTS as an excuse, the same way with saying she didn't remember that night. But there are alternative understandings.
Lauren, I have a question for you. I hope you're still in here. When you faint, do you not remember? I've never seen documentation. This is the first time I am ever hearing that this was diagnosed before the accident. So I hope she's still in here because I would like to know the answer to that question.
And there are additional facts that should be brought into bearing on what should have and should not have happened. Now, that doesn't mean it's going to change the legal process, because they had their opportunity, right? Due process gives you one shot, not Well, we've screwed it up. That's ineffective counsel. She appealed on that basis. She lost. The Supreme Court refused to review it in that state. So you can feel any way you want to feel. The question is, how much of how you feel is a function of the facts? And how open are you to the full complement of perspectives into why this happened? And what is justice here?
Okay, she says there are small bits around the time I start to feel the symptoms. I've seen people who start to feel it, though, if they can do it, they'll try and sit down I don't want to say as fast, but they will try to get down to the ground. But I remember most of what happens. Thank you so much for answering my question. I wish I had a camera. I'd be like, I'm giving you a hand heart. I kind of want to go into the POTS group and ask them, like, hey, question. But I'm sure it's probably already been posted in there about it. So I'm going to go in and do some digging and see if it, like, happens to other people. Because that'll tell me a lot, too.
That's what I want to get after. That's the untold story in the Mackenzie Shirilla case. Let me know what you think. Thank you for subscribing and following here on Cuomo Crime Time. Thank you for checking me out on Sirius Radio in the morning, News Nation on cable every night. And of course, if you're into politics, you get the Chris Cuomo Project. And look, here we're critical thinkers. Here we're free agents. Here we don't get co-opted by.
Okay, I'm getting tired of hearing him talk. But yeah, I seen this last night and I was like, oh my God, I got to go talk about this. The amount, it's literally within like 10 minutes. The mom's already said how many lies. The mom's like, what did she say? Something along the lines of, it's pretty much basically it's happened a couple times. And don't catch her because I learned my lesson. If I catch her, the blood, blah, 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 blah. And then she's like, and then Chris says something and he's like, remember. And then she goes, remember, it only happened once. So where? Natty, oh my God. Natalie Shirilla. I would like to see documentation. You can black out the doctor's name, address, or actually, you know what? Just block out the address of the doctor. I want to see the doctor's name because I want to make sure this is a legit doctor. Block out any identifying information of Mackenzie because we don't need to know all of the other stuff. I want to see proof that she was actually diagnosed before this because I do not believe it. And I always know what's coming. The edges of my vision start to go black out and I feel nauseous and dizzy. Yep, that's true. I have seen, even if you go on TikTok or on here or on the Book of Faces and you look it up, the videos, yeah, the videos, the people, like, they just start to, like, you can tell something's wrong. They'll kind of bend over or something, or they'll sit down. And a lot of POTS people too also have, oh my God, not EAS dogs, the other ones. The, why am I drawing a blank? The, service dogs, there we go. They'll have service dogs. And the service dog will usually tell them before it happens too. Let me see. Let's see. The type of seizure Natalie talked about is caused by extreme anxiety or emotional distress, not by blood pressure or high heart rate. Look at this girl. You are on top of it. You're on top of it. Yeah, no, I do not think she had. I do not think Mackenzie had anything. I think there was a fight because I want to say it was in one of the jail calls. I could be wrong, or it was service dogs. Yes, thank you. I don't, girl, my ferritin's low, so I'm having brain fog. I'm working on getting my ferritin back up. But it was either in one of the jail calls or one of that her friend that was on the crash or whatever said that at that get together party, whatever, Mackenzie fell asleep on the couch, and when she woke up, Dom wasn't there. And I think Dom may have been talking to another girl, or he was just off doing his own thing, and then there was a fight on the way back home that night. I have one to alert me to my dropping blood pressure and or increasing heart rate, see? Yep. Oh, man. I don't know. I'm just so sick of this Mackenzie girl, the way she's acted after the accident, the lies that's coming out of her and her parents' mouth. I just, I don't know. I'm over it. But all right, I'm gonna get off here. I gotta go do some adulting stuff again. I hate being an adult, let me tell you. And the dog has to go for a walk. So yay. But all right, I will see you guys later. And thank you, Lauren, for dropping in and showing some love and chatting. It's nice to have somebody in the chat who has it and knows about it. So thank you so much, girl.